Welcome, everyone, to the end of the first half of the Winstel Cup Series campaign. The Magic Mile hosts the Winstel Cup Series on the week before Mother's Day. It's time to go racing here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, the tricky, flat 1 mile oval. You love it or you hate it. It's a challenging racetrack all the same. Welcome everyone to Winstel coverage on ABN. We're glad you're with us for should be a fun Sunday evening of racing. So let's step into it for a second here. A wonderful time to jump into the points. Unfortunately, not going to be on your screen because been adjustments to some of the behind-the-scenes stuff, and the points have sort of broken on us. Points going in, though. It is Gabriel Mauricio at the top of the board as your points leader. Jose Solis Jr. and Lee Howe, your top three. Christian Budd has joined the 1,000 point setters at the moment. Dylan Roberts not far away. Brennan McGee, Colin Keister, Christina Ryan, Andrew Ferrinares, Michael Guest, Mike Rasmus, and Sean Pellig, your top 12. If the chase for the Winstel Cup started today, those would be your championship contenders. Thankfully, we've still got a few races. And that's very thankful news for those behind the top 12. Evan Locke, Brandon McKissick, Andy Trupiano, the closest to the outside looking in. Kirk Marble, Nick Doucette, Josh Chin, Parker Alexander, and Lucas Davila complete the top 20 in the points. If the chase started today, the defending Winstel Cup Series champion, Jacob Potak, will be 21st. Well, far away from being able to defend that championship right now. Blake Cannon, Larry Pace, Ryan Andrew, Tyler Head, your top 25, over Tom Willett, Alex Bates, and Ryan Hill. Very much a have and have-nots here in New Hampshire. Qualifying well and truly pretty much wrapped up here. A couple of drivers still rolling around on the racetrack. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Lee Howe beginning a run right now. Let's see where car 55 is at. Starting a lap. Howe, Snipes, Cannon, and Wetmore all looking to set lap times here. Drivers starting from the back of the field: Brandon Cruz, Brendan McGee, Christina Ryan, Ryan Daly, and Thomas Lewandowski. I believe Brandon McKissick will as well. As qualifying comes close to ending here. 43 cars, 34 set lap times. How about Emily Howe? Where does she put that 55? Only 28th. Phillips, nice reset. I don't think he's going to have enough time to set this qualifying time. I think he is starting at the rear of the field. Tom Wetmore goes 32nd. I definitely don't think he's got time to set this lap. He'll be starting at the back of the field. 36 time setters. And that's why Philip Snipes will go ahead and pull it back down pit lane. So here's how qualifying looks, with Christian Budd and Andrew Piano at the top of the board. For Christian Budd, pole position. Not something we've seen very often this season for the 17 car. Get everything reset here. There we go. Piano there in second place. Jacob Potak again qualifies well. He's qualified well several times this season. Races have been where it's fallen apart for the 24 camp. Potak will need to try to get to third in the race. That's where he starts. Can he improve? Tyler Head in fourth place. Evan Locke in fifth. Jordan Barabee. Matthew Seeger. Nick Doucette, Blake Cannon, and Logan Kress are top 10 at the moment as things currently set. Again, it's not about where you start, it's where you finish. And there's a lot of ways to mix things up here in New Hampshire. Saw briefly what the second portion of the qualifying order looks like. Gabriel Mauricio, Josh Chin, Christian Poe, Dylan Roberts, Evan Melanson, Colin Bowden, Andrew Ferrinares, Jose Solis Jr., Ryan Moyer, and Vincent Crowe, your top 20 of 43 here in New Hampshire. Alex Bates, Tom Millette, Lucas Davila, Colin Keister, that's your top 24 ahead of Parker Alexander, Kirk Marble, Sean Peleg, Emily Howe, Michael Guest, and Ethan Winters. Some big names outside the top 20 here. Keister, Howe, Peleg, Guest, all looking to make their way forward in the field here. Lucas Davila also outside the top 20 for a rare change in qualifying here. Shows how tricky this track can be. Tyler Murray, Tom Wetmore, Kyle Benson, Jeff Yinich, Ryan Hill, and Brandon Coppinger, your last cars set qualifying times on the board. As it begins rolling, Brandon McKissick did not set a qualifying time, neither did Thomas Lewandowski, Christina Ryan, Brendan McGee, who will start in 40th place. Big misses there in qualifying. Also missing out Ryan Daly, Philip Snipes, and Brandon Cruz, who will start at the back of this 43-car field. There is your starting grid at the bottom of your screen, so you can attach names and faces and paint schemes to the cars we're going to talk about during this race. Some good-looking cars, though. You got the 17, that Carhartt Ford Fusion for Christian Budd, alongside the 06 of Andy Trupiano. As we get ready to go racing. Love it or hate it, this racetrack is a pretty big one. It is one of the lone representatives for the series in the Northeast. Full field of cars ready to go racing here in New Hampshire. It's the Magic Mile. It's a tricky mile here, but it is almost time to go racing. We're glad you're with us here for Winstel on ABN, beginning of a very busy 4 days for us here. It is Christian Budd and Andy Trupiano at the front of the field. Green flag flies, and away we go. Three wide, multiple rows, everyone getting up to speed. Fanning out using different lanes, trying to move forward quickly. At the front of the field, Trupiano has taken the early advantage. Outside lane, one out there in that exchange. Still side by side for third place between Potak and Tyler Head. Everyone jockeying for position further back. That's Ferrinares that was given a shot down the back straightaway. Everyone looking for real estate early on here. Still side by side is Potak and Head. Head pulls ahead for third. Evan Locke now up in the fifth spot, looking good. A lot of your top 12 in points entering this race are at the back of the field. It could help Evan Locke get into that top 12 conversation. We'll see how it pans out. Blake Cannon battling with Nick Doucette. Just down the running order. Seeger just behind them. We've not called his name very often. He's not been a part of much of the season. But here he is here. The 98 car working on trying to move forward. And caution is out for the first time for Philip Snipes. On lap 5, we will reset. It'll be the 2 car in focus here for this first caution of the evening here in New Hampshire. What happened to Philip Snipes? It's a bit of a tag, it looks like here. Jeff Yinich, the 27. Looks like Snipes comes down the racetrack there. Yinich was to the left. I was in front of Christina Ryan, Brendan McGee, Ryan Daly. This was near the back of the field anyway. This would have been for 36th. So not a huge loss position-wise. It's all in the positions. It's all mostly just in time and in ego there. Right on board here with Christina Ryan. And she gets the near-miss treatment here. Pretty quick stuff there. He beats the pace car out, back to live action. So he will stay on the lead lap there in 43rd position. Still damaged is that race car. Your top 5 largely has not shifted a whole lot in terms of who's where. Trupiano from 2nd to 1st, Bud from pole to 2nd. Potak stays in 3rd, Tyler Head from 4th, he stays there, and Evan Locke moves up 1 spot to 6th. Or moves one spot from 6th to 5th. But here we go. For a first restart of the evening, I do believe. So before we go racing, a huge shout out to all of our Premier Tier subs on Patreon for helping making things easier for us and possible to keep the lights on over the last couple months. Trade Up Slogan, Dogman2935, Nick Sora, B-Dogs, Eli Sasek, Jason Scott, Alfred Denny, Weekend Hobby 22, Flip Snipes, Blue Jade, Tyler Head, and Colin McDonough. A huge shout out to each and every single one of you as we kick off the greatest month of racing, the month of May. If you're looking to help join ABN on Patreon and you want to have your name shouted out during our broadcasts, links in the description down below. It is Trupiano and Christian Budd at the front of the field. Andy Trupiano looking confident in that 06 car. He's had several races like this, but he's not had the results to show for it. Can he get them to show here? Pace car is in, the green flag flies, and away we go. Almost immediately drove further back. Still green at the moment, but huge misses throughout the field. I believe that was Jordan Barabee. That was negatively affected by that, the 47th. In fact, it was. I didn't get a good look at who it was that he got hooked by. But kept it straight and narrow, but he's down the 40th. Everyone fans out here. Potak now back in the mix, battling for that second spot with Christian Budd. Remember, he desperately needs a good race again. Sitting 21st in the points going into today. Trupiano just at the racetrack just a little bit. This track's flat enough that there's a lot of different lines you can run. Trupiano running upper middle part of the racetrack. Potak keeps it tight on the bottom of the racetrack, running the apron. And he closes in a lot there off the corner. Seeger up to 6th position in the 98 car. Has gotten around Nick Doucette. Colin Keister right now currently one of our biggest movers of the race. He is the biggest mover of the race, up 16 spots from where he started this race. Now up into the 8th position. And we started this race down in 24th. He's already top 10 after just 13 laps. Throughout the top 10 here, Potak trying to stay ahead right now of Christian Budd. Here comes Keister battling with Doucette. There's Colin Bowden, also in the mix as well. Bowden got in trouble earlier last week for causing an accident. Lost the podium as a result of what happened last week. Ended up dropping down to the last car on the lead lap. This week's a new week. He's back in the top 10. He's sitting right now in the 9th spot, watching this battle between Keister and Nick Doucette. Keister, your race winner a week ago. Both of them are going to work around 15 of Nick Doucette here. Bowden closes off in front of Doucette, shuts the door. So Doucette down the 9th, Bowden up to 8th place, and behind Doucette, another former NASCAR Cup Series driver, Logan Kress. The 37. A lot of the pros are out tonight. They're in that conversation for the top 10 at the moment. Another former NASCAR Cup Series veteran, Michael Guest. He's also on the charge forward, up 11 spots. Same with Emily Howe. They shared a row further back in the running order, and they're sharing 17th and 18th right now, working on Andrew Ferrinares and Chris Champeau. And trouble, caution has come out. And it is the 55 Emily Howe, who has found it the hard way around the racetrack here. Alex Bates not involved at the 00. But the 55 all torn up here. And you see bodywork still flying off that car. That was the bumper flying off the 55. What happened to Emily Howe? Let's take a look. Was in that battle with Ferrinares, with Champeau, with Michael Guest. Ferrinares bounces off of Champeau. Emily Howe coming up the racetrack, gets recoiled into. It's going to be an ugly, ugly hit. 100% it is. Kyle Benson and Brandon McKissick gets a piece of it, and does Josh Chen. And Vincent Crowe, the 91. Pele Solis. They find avoiding action, so does Kirk Marble, and most the rest of those further back in the running order. McGee in the 9. Finding a way around. There's 39. Also finding his way around. Ethan Winters. The 07, Tyler Murray. Everyone else just plays avoiding action there. Very unfortunate there for Emily Howe. On board with 55. Just unsighted just a little bit with that hip check. Those are hard hits. Those don't look so hard in slow motion. Those are really hard hits. Not a good feeling. And that's going to heavily compromise, if not completely end, Emily Howe's day in that 55 car. A lot of work needs to be done on the 55 before it gets back on the racetrack under any condition. At the front of the field, it is Tom Wetmore that leads the way. Jacob Potak, Andy Cipriano, and Christian Budd. Potak, a two-tire stop for him in the 24 car to jump into one of the front-running positions. He'll be second. As we get ready to go back racing. Ready to go back. Underway here. In New Hampshire. Tom Wetmore with car 16 leading the way. And Aflac number 16 machine. Potak, Cipriano, Budd, Head, Seeger, your top six. Away we go. Two cars on the racetrack, 41 on the lead lap. Kyle Benson, one lap down. Wetmore on old tires immediately gets passed by Potak, but here comes Cipriano. He wants the race lead back. Cipriano through. Christian Budd trying to follow, and immediately we're under caution again. He got away with one, did not give away with this one. It's Jordan Barabee. I believe Christina Ryan also involved in this in some way, shape, or form. Indeed, and a lot of damage on the 84 car too. So some of your chasers getting pretty beat up here at a critical point of the season. We'll take a look at what happened. Jordan Barabee was located at first as the first driver involved. So we'll double check. He was in front of Christina Ryan at the time of caution. They're four wide. This is Barabee, Jeff Yinich on the outside lane, the 27, Ryan Hill in the 7, Josh Chin in the 60. Four wide doesn't often work, and this is why. Someone's got to give, and unfortunately, you see where Christina Ryan gets a huge piece of it and gets clobbered by Brandon Coppinger in the 45. Despite Barabee being the one that spun, Christina Ryan wears the brunt of the damage from this caution, this third one of the night. Pretty big hit there. We're on board there again. Not the most fun on board here. There's a decent amount to check up for it, just not enough. Right on board here with Brandon Coppinger. And he's going to close off on him pretty quick, too. He does what he can, but he realizes really late that the window is closing. And so he's got some damage as well. He's come down pit lane for repairs. So has Ryan. Ryan Hill also coming down to check over that car, that 7 machine. So, here they are. Free pass did, in fact, go. The 83 Kyle Benson. So Kyle Benson back on the lead lap. Both the Team Red Bull cars looking pretty beat up right now. Not quite been their day. It is Potek at the front of the field. Tripiano in second. Bud third. Wetmore fourth. Tyler Head in fifth. Colin Keister, Evan Locke, Matthew Seeger, Sean Pellig, and Nick Doucette, top 10 here in the Magic Mile. Pace car is in. The green flag flies. The third restart of the night is underway. Oh, trouble! Trouble! Tyler Head in the fence. Multiple others in the fence. Are we staying green? It looks like it. But for how long? I think Head got help on the front straightaway by Colin Keister by the 12. We'll have to take a look at it in just a second, but that was a huge shot. It could also just be wheel spin, but we'll take a look here in just a moment. Wild racing here. Tyler Head scrambling for position after being turned. You see the damage in the back of that number 4 machine. And see battles Nick Doucette to try to stay top 7. Keister up to 4th. Behind Tyler Head is Logan Kress. Mauricio top 10. Wetmore down to 11th. But some more war wounds in the top 10. This time it's on one of the former champions. Seeger, fast lap of the race. 30.046 for Matthew Seeger. See the damage on the 48. Sean Pelleg, Moon Car driver, sitting right now in that 6th spot, but he is definitely wounded on that driver's side crush panel. Logan Kress shadowing former champion Tyler Head. Looking at that 8th spot, would love to get some extra points here. Mauricio in 10th, also not far away. Dylan Roberts in 11th. You have the 88 of Blake Cannon, who was also involved. Michael Guest getting his climb forward once again. He's up to the 13th position, trying to battle forward even more spots. Being followed by both of the Evernham cars that get together. McGee and Davila. And McGee gets spun around and huge contact. Kirk Marble, and we're under caution for the 4th time. Some pretty significant damage for the 9 of Brendan McGee. And it's another one of your current chase drivers encountering troubles here at the Magic Mile. And that gives us a second to look at how this restart went. So let's take a look at the restart first, because this is where things get a little bit dicey. Wetmore, the 16 in front, on older tires. Oh, Head didn't realize he was 4 wide. That's exactly what happened, and it was Evan Locke that he clobbered into. Evan Locke very unsighted on what was going on that position. He was far outside, and from the bottom to the top went Tyler Head. So that is exactly what happened to Tyler Head there. He thought he was clear and he wasn't. Let's take a look at this. This is what happened with McGee and Davila. They were checked up by Michael Guest and Tom Wetmore, who's been falling like a rock down the field on those older tires. That time, not really anything Michael Guest or Tom Wetmore could do in that situation. That was just teammates getting together. And Davila, or the Argentinian, spins his teammate around right into the path of Kirk Marble, who tries avoiding. Still tags him. Huge hit there for the 91 of Vincent Crowe, for the 6 of Tom Willett. Field finding out pretty quickly how robust these cars are not. So we're under caution for the 4th time. Jacob Potak will lead us to green. Go Racing saw the request for Crank It Up. We do not have Crank It Up cameras for this racetrack, unfortunately. After this track was redone, our camera set to do Crank It Up doesn't work right now. We're working on it, but it's just not a track that's been high on our priority list. So unfortunately, no Crank It Up tonight. Green flag flies once again, and away we go. And we're under caution again immediately. This is further back once again. This is McGee and Willett. When it rains, it pours, and damage on the 6 car now as well, on that left rear especially. Doesn't take much here. We've crossed the halfway point, but it's under caution for the 5th time. Here. So we'll have to try to cycle back around and get it back around to the pace car here. So while they sort that out, let's take a look at what happened on this restart. That was not pleasant. Benson was crab walking. I don't know if that had anything to do with this caution. Don't believe it did. It did not. He was crab walking, decided to bring his race to a close. This does, however, affect the restart. Oh! What happened to Tom Willett? Huh. It sounds like he money shifted. Let's take a listen. Oh, it's not in gear at all. Wow. It wasn't in gear at all. We'll have to back it up here a second so you can kind of hear what it sounds like. That's not something you see very often. Back it up and take another look here. For Tom Willett, it is a bit of a struggle. Just trying to get into position here for this restart. Gets behind Evan Locke. Yeah, he just goes into neutral. He was trying to go to second gear, and it just never goes. Wow. It's not easy. We get ready to go. Back racing, 5th restart of the night. Potak, Tripiano, and Christian Budd, your top 3. Seeger and Crest, top 5. Green flag flies, and away we go. Back underway for our 5th restart of the night. Tripiano wants the race lead back. Jacob Potak desperately needs another race win after what has been an abysmal season for the 24 count on that championship defense. Trouble further back, Lewandowski. 6th caution of the night. And the start-stop nature of the Magic Mile continues. A little bit of help from his friends in the mid-pack is Lewandowski going around. And here's why. Josh Chen in proximity, Colin Bowden. 04 of Bowden's going to be the one that makes contact with the 80 of Lewandowski. And everyone has to play check up there. Unfortunately, Brendan Cruz can't. Gets helped into it by the 66 of Melanson. Not a ton of damage, but enough to be concerning. Especially with how this race has gone for some already. Lewandowski, I don't think, wears the brunt of it. I think it actually goes to Cruz in the 20, unfortunately. That does bring most of the field down pit lane, unless you're Jordan Barabee, who's already had his share of problems. He would like to find some clean air. Thank you very much. And so it is Barabee, Cannon, and Guest with Wetmore and Bowden. Moving up the order here. Ferrinares, Keister, Crow, Doucette, Peleg, and Mauricio. Your top 11 all staying out. They've already come down pit lane at least once in the last 10 laps. Free pass, I believe that is Emily Howe getting that free pass. Indeed, it is Kyle Benson. You, as we mentioned before, had towed because of damage on that 83 car. So you'll get one of his mini laps back. He is now, I believe, 3 laps down. Still crabbing, it looks like. He's still not pointing the right direction in the 83 car. That car does not look healthy. But he knows how this race is going. You got to keep going at this point. Well, we're under caution here for the 6th time here in New Hampshire. QR code on your screen directs you to our Patreon. We got a lot of stuff coming up here. The start of the HTL season tomorrow. Preseason review, preseason recap. For the shootout tomorrow night. The shootout will be right here on YouTube. All the extra content will be available on Patreon. The QR code will help you get set up. We get ready to go racing for the 6th restart here in New Hampshire with less than 30 laps to go. It is Barabee, Cannon, and Guest, your top 3, and away we go. We'll spin throughout your top 5. Checks the field up. Keister in trouble. Keister pointing in the right direction, but he is in trouble early. Doucette gets turned. Doucette gets turned by Ferrinares. How did they save that? Doucette gets dropped down out of the top 25. And the short track specialist has a lot to do and not a lot of time. Cannon at the front. Barabee second. Caution is out this time. Not sure if that was a delayed response to the 15 or not. Ryan Moyer has completely dropped out here, but I do not believe it's related. We'll take a look. We'll perceive that the issue with Nick Doucette and Andrew Ferrinares will be the cause of the caution, and we'll review that. So let's take a look. I hope I'm quoting this right in that it's Doucette and that it's Ferrinares and not Sean Pellick. Well, there you go. A lot of your cars running down the position here. Yeah, I have to assume that this might be it. Ferrinares got a slow start. I don't know if that's on Ferrinares or on Doucette, if I'm being completely honest. Take another look here. We'll go full speed to the restart, and then we'll kind of catch up, and we'll slow it down to ABN quarter speed. So here's quarter speed. Everyone's responding to the 12 of Keister. I don't think it's entirely on Ferrinares. Ferrinares was misjudging it a little bit because he doored Vincent Crowe, the 91. But Doucette clears, and I think he has the idea that he's cleared everybody, and he hasn't. But you see just the madhouse. Almost as mad as Pocono, as far as how these restarts have been. If it is perceived to be at the fault of Doucette, he's the one that wore the brunt of the damage from that. He dropped down out of the top 20 altogether. And so Blake Cannon leads the way over Guest and Bowden. Pellig in fourth, Wetmore in fifth. Colin Keister, your top six, over Mauricio, and then Christian Budd, Logan Kress, Andrew Ferrinares, and Josh Chen. As the lights are out on the pace car, we'll go green for a seventh restart here in New Hampshire. Ready to go back racing here with Cannon and Guest at the front of the field. Away we go. Way better restart there for Keister. Way better restart there for Sean Pellig. He's looking at a chance to potentially win a race here. He would love the opportunity as we exit turn two. He's going to have his hands full with these cars at the front of the field. For the top five are race winners in Winstel, 3 this season. Pellig, a 10-time Winstel Cup Series race winner, still looking for his first in 2026. Works 3 wide, bottom of Guest. Guest gives him space. No dice there, can't really make any advancement for position there, so he'll slot back in behind Keister ahead of the 5 of Mauricio. Cannon leads over Bowden. Trouble! Michael Guest has smacked the wall hard on the inside. smacked the pit lane wall extremely hard. You can see the damage on the front. And now he's got to try to keep that car going in the right direction. Left front means that car is going to be very tight now all of a sudden. He's going to want to take off and just go to the right in the corners. He stays top 10 at the moment, but barely. He's in 9th. Potak, he is in the challenge there with Josh Chen and Tom Wetmore looking for position. He wants back in the top 10 desperately. Only 2 retirements in this race. Emily Howe and Ryan Moyer. 41 still running. Every spot, every point counts. We know that. And everyone beginning to push with less than 20 laps to go. 7 cautions. It has been a difficult one for a lot of the field in different ways. Battle for third between Keister and Pele. Keister drives Pele up the racetrack in a pretty big way, trying to open the door for Christian Budd to make his way forward. Christian Budd on the best tires of those in the top 5. He's going to have a good shot here. Depends on how quickly he can dispatch the 48 and the 12. The 04 and the 88 are on 10-lap order tires than Christian Budd. Those 2 should be the easiest of the bunch for Christian Budd to dispatch once he gets to them. The question is, can he come into 15 laps to go? Almost 3 wide for that third spot. Wow. Very aggressive driving there for the 12 of Colin Keister. You saw the puff of smoke there. That was Sean Pele. He had to get on the brakes to get out of it, because otherwise the 2 were going to crash. So that's the second time Pele's been forced up the racetrack into a massive way by Keister. And I'm pretty sure that the 48's not very appreciative of it. I would not be surprised if Sean returned the favor with a little bit of a bumper. There you go, a little bit of a bumper. It's almost like I kind of know these things. Wow, a little bit more of a bumper. A little bit of a door, more of a door. Ooh, playing with fire. A little bit of bumper there for Keister. And Keister's in a Hendrick Motorsports sandwich at the moment. Mauricio right there. He's already been suspended for intentionally wrecking at Martinsville, and he became the points leader afterwards. I'm pretty sure Mauricio would not be fazed to take one for the team. Budd up to third. Pele stays in 4th as a result. Keister down to 5th. Then it's Mauricio, Ferrinares, Potak, Kress, and Trupiano, your top 10. At the front, as we imagine, the 2 on the oldest tires. Once they were left 2-on-1 with the driver with the best tires in the field, it'd be a pretty quick conversation piece. That's exactly what's happening here. Bowden looking for a podium that he might get to keep if these last 10 laps go the way that he hopes they do. Blake Cannon's looking for his 2nd career win. Here we are. Battles all the way through out here. Lucas Davila battling with Michael Guest. Guest has fallen out of the top 10. You see the damage that he received after the restart. The 7th of the night has made him an unfortunate sitting duck here in New Hampshire, as he's being attacked by Davila and by Parker Alexander, the 44. Not said Alexander's name much tonight, but he is close to the top 10 as well. Outside the top 10 looking in, Josh Chen, Matthew Seeger, Lucas Davila, Michael Guest, Parker Alexander, Tom Wetmore, Kirk Marble, Ethan Winters, Nick Doucette, and Dylan Roberts, 11th through 20th at the moment. Kirk Marble battling with Tom Wetmore as Winters battles with Nick Doucette. Peleg battling with Andrew Ferrinares for position, potentially. Ferrinares on fresher tires. No, I'm wrong there. Ferrinares on older tires than Peleg. Fresh tires belong to Potak in this conversation. And Potak drives so hard out of the corners. The race win seems out of reach just a little bit. Teammates will go side by side there for the 5th position. Woo! That mid-corner speed for Peleg almost caught him into his teammate. He had to get out of that one pretty hard. That was rough. Mauricio's gotten around, Mauricio's gotten around Logan Kress again. Trupiano's gotten around Colin Keister. So both those passes just happened there. Ethan Winters still battling with Nick Doucette further down the running order. Only they've changed lanes. There's Jose Solis Jr. We've not said his name much tonight in the 29 car. He is down in the 21st position, trying to get into the top 20. A lot of drivers just having very uncharacteristic days here in New Hampshire with 5 laps to go. Bowden under pressure, a lot of pressure from Christian Budd. The more that Bowden keeps Christian Budd at bay, the better it serves for Blake Cannon. But keep an eye out. Again, Andrew Ferrinares trying to close in. And down pit lane comes Cannon and Ferrinares. They couldn't make it on fuel. Oh my goodness. This has become the battle for the race lead with 4 laps to go. And suddenly the conversation has shifted entirely. Potek up to 3rd, Trupiano 4th, Peleg top 5. And here comes Bowden. He cannot stay out. He's got to come down pit lane. Christian Budd, now with 3 laps to go, is clear sailing all of a sudden. They were hoping for another caution that never came. And how much would it burn if we had a caution now that put us in the point of no return? Potak in 2nd. Trupiano in 3rd. Kress, Keister to your top 5. The pit stops mean that likewise several others have had to come down pit lane. Michael Guest with 2 to go has had to come down the pit lane. So Peleg had to come down pit lane. Not been pleasant. Colin Keister trying to hang in there. He was on the same strategy. What have you got? Everyone in this dog pile further down the running order here. Coming to the white flag. 1 lap to go. It is Christian Budd at the front of the field. Potak closing in rapidly, though. He's only going to have one more opportunity to do something about it. They are all over the place, further back outside the top 5. Rounding turn 3 and 4, heading to home. Christian Budd's going to find his way to victory lane. It's car 17 in New Hampshire. The Magic Miles magic for Christian Budd. He wins in New England. Jacob Potak finishes second. Andy Trupiano finishes in the third position. But it's Christian Budd, your race winner here in New Hampshire. Trupiano gets on the podium for the first time this season. He finally gets a result that he feels like he's deserved. And Christian Budd gets to burn it down here. Great job there for Christian Budd, your race winner here in New Hampshire. Absolutely wild stuff start to finish. Good race results before we talk to our podium finishers here in New Hampshire. Christian Budd, your race winner over Jacob Potak and Andy Trupiano. A wild, wild, wild race here. Very physical tonight. We'll talk to all three of your podium finishers in just a second. Logan Kress missing out on the podium just barely in fourth. Josh Chin, top 5. Parker Alexander in 6th. Ahead of Gabriel Mauricio. Lucas Davila gets the top 10 ahead of Colin Keister. Matthew Seeger gets the top 10 as well in the 98 car here in New England. Dylan Roberts misses out on the top 10 just barely. Kirk Marble in 12th ahead of Jose Solis Jr., Ethan Winters, Chris Champeau. Evan Melanson gets top 20 finish in the 66 machine. Jeff Yinish in 17th. Tyler Murray in 18th. Jordan Barabee 19th ahead of Thomas Lewandowski, who finishes in 20th today. A lot of your chase drivers going into this race, they are going to be frustrated leaving New Hampshire. Thankfully, a week off for Mother's Day next Sunday. Tyler Head 21st. Not in that chase conversation. Brendan McGee, Christina Ryan, they both very much were in that conversation, and they finished outside the top 20. McGee in 22nd, Ryan 24th, Philip Snipes in the middle in 23rd. Brandon McKissick 25th, Vincent Crowe in 26th, Tom Millette 27th, Alex Bates, Ryan Hill, and Brandon Cobbinger in the top 30 here tonight. Evan Locke 31st, what could have been for him. He was top 5 at points. He qualified top 6. He ends up 31st tonight ahead of Ryan Daly. Colin Bowden in 33rd had to come down pit lane. A lot of your drivers had to come down pit lane for top of a fuel at the end. Blake Cannon, Sean Pele got behind Brandon Cruz, Andrew Ferrinares, Michael Guest, Tom Wetmore, Nick Doucette all had to come down pit lane under one way, shape, or form. Wetmore's last car on the lead lap, so 39 cars on the lead lap. Doucette ended up 2 laps down. Same with Kyle Benson in 41st position. Ryan Moyer and Emily Howell, the only 2 retirements in this race. Despite the chaos, most everyone finished, which is a very interesting place to be. Emily Howell being the worst of the playoff drivers or the chase drivers after this race has concluded. We do have podium interviews to conduct here, so we'll conduct for the first time this season an interview with the 06 Andy Trupiano. Pace has been that 06 car all season long, but the results have seldom been there. Tonight, proof of the concept for the 06 crew. Walk us through it. It was a wild race, a very physical one here in New Hampshire. Andy, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do. Can you hear me?
Yes, I do. I realized you may not have been able to hear me when we were talking, when we were segueing to the interviews there. A wild race here tonight in New Hampshire. Very physical race. As we've mentioned several times, the pace has been that 06 car, but the results just haven't been as fulfilling. Podium here tonight for the first time. Finally, a proof of concept for the 06 team. Walk us through it.
Yeah, it feels really good. That first run really had me thinking I had a chance to bring it home. Unfortunately, I ended up botching it in the strategy department a little bit there. you know, when the field got split between those like several cautions at the end and you had a couple different strategies going, I was like, I'm gonna be in traffic either way, so I went for 4 tires instead of 2, and unfortunately, the track position would have benefited me there more than the tires did. But overall, it was a really good day. When the racing stayed green, it was really fun. So I had a good time.
We had a pretty decent green flag run there at the end, which obviously helps out, I think, the situation overall. Um, that being said, it has been a testing season for the '06 camp. Obviously, the pace, as you mentioned, had been there pretty well most of the season. The results just hadn't been there, being caught up either in incidents or bad side of the strategy calls there. Um, how big was a getting this kind of result? Obviously, led laps early on, started front row. How big was getting this race start to finish the result that was needed for the '06 camp?
Yeah, it was really good. These short flat tracks are they're kind of right in my wheelhouse in terms of what it takes to be fast at them. So obviously like Martinsville and here were kind of my in my head my two big opportunities to run at the front. So it's nice to be up here and hopefully we can go on.
We do have a week off in the running order. Mother's Day next week means that we are not racing here. That being said, this helps the '06 out quite significantly. You were 15th in points going in. I believe if you're not top 12, you are very close to it right now. Everyone eyeballing the chase as we get closer and closer to the end of the regular season towards the chase for the Winstel Cup. Um, what is the preparation look like with the extra week off here as we head off and enjoy the extra week?
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't mind running a few extra laps here and there, but usually I don't have a ton of time to practice for these things, so I kind of hop in a little bit fresh. So I wouldn't mind a few extra laps, but we'll see how it all goes.
Chicagoland coming up here in 2 weeks' time. The week after Mother's Day is the race upcoming next, so everyone should be excited for a race at in Illinois in 2 weeks' time. Before we let you go, though, and then let you enjoy the podium, and obviously enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening and relax here. If there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. A phenomenal job, first podium of the season, I do believe, for the '06 camp, and a good way to set things straight going into the spring breaks.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, well, obviously thanks to you for doing this whole broadcast. I always like going back and watching it after the fact, and of course thanks to everybody with Winstel in the league. I've been running with these guys for a while, so it's always a good time.
A lot of fun, a wild race today. Andy Trupiano finally gets the result he's been looking for. Second on the grid, third at the start finish. Trupiano on podium here in New Hampshire. Congratulations, Andy.
Thanks a lot.
That was Trupiano, your third place finisher here tonight. We'll move on to the defending Winstel Cup Series champion, who did not have the easiest of times. But a second place is a trend in the right direction for the driver that entered this race 21st in points. Jacob Potak, walk us through it. That was a rough race, but you survived, and it's a second place, and again, a trend in the right direction after what has been a very feast or famine season so far.
Yeah, you got that right. I think if the season had been going the way I'd wanted it, this race I'd maybe be more disappointed in the amount that was left on the table. But with the way it's gone, I'm very happy. Even if there was a lot more available to it and a lot of chaos, I'm just very happy to finish second and not have either an on-track issue or a technical issue, something knock me out. And first time in quite a few weeks, I'll be happy to see points get updated. So looking forward to that.
It has been a very tough season, as you mentioned. Like had it not been for the fact that the season has been so rough, that the second place would typically be a little bit more disappointing here. We saw you chase down the 17, but just not enough time to really try to make a pass happen there at the end. Walk us through sort of just what has been sort of the factor here for the 24, because it's been a mixture of things that's taken the car. It's not just been it's been obviously a lot of bad luck, but it's not been just being crashed out every race. There's been technical failures, there's been mishaps, there's been crashes. Like how do you reset? Obviously, a lot of time here. We spend 3 of the next 4 weeks off to go through the month of May. How do you hit this reset to sort of shake off the bad voodoo, the bad luck before we really get in the crunch time?
Yeah, well, getting a good result tonight was a big part of that. I was really not going to be looking forward to if I had another bad run and looking at a few weeks of just sitting on that bad run, thinking about it. And the chase cutoff, I think there's 5 races left starting tonight, so now we got 4 left. But I don't know. 21st is where I started tonight. Don't know where I'll end up, but just got to keep some good runs coming to just make it to the top 12 is the goal at this point. So need to be aggressive, but also can't have any big wrecks. So it gets really tense out there with that pressure, but thought it was not going to happen tonight at a couple points, but fought through a lot of it and brought it home second.
A huge result here, as you mentioned. Obviously, just one step at a time here. A second place here at New Hampshire helps out, especially when a lot of the chase drivers did not have a good night tonight. Christina Ryan, Emily Howe not finishing this race. Obviously, that helps out a little bit. Mike Rasmus having missing the race altogether would help out a little bit. You entered this race 99 points out of the cut line for the top 12, which is where the chase cutoff is. So that's going to help out a huge amount. Chicagoland in 2 weeks' time. What's the feeling going into that race?
Oh, I'm not really sure because we haven't ran Chicagoland, or I didn't run Chicagoland last year. Did miss that one, so I don't know if I've run Chicagoland with Winstel or not, but I don't think I have, so it's going to be an interesting one. I really like that track, but it is a very chaotic track, and every single lane's available, so you'll have 3 and 4 wide racing, and if you get stuck in 20th, those restarts are just going to be real survival. And not really at your own hand. I think it's just going to be good things happen to you or they won't. So just need another strong top 10 is going to be the goal. I mean, that would leave 3 races to the chase. So I think 2 good runs in a row to start off this run to it, I think would be looking good. So hoping for more of this next week, Chicagoland.
Going to be a lot of fun to see what that 24 car can do in Joliet. Obviously, your first time racing here in Winstel at Chicagoland. I did just go ahead and verify that, so that is a very weird stat. That being said, before we let you go and let you enjoy, obviously, the off week for Mother's Day, if there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congrats on the second place and a trend in the right direction once again.
Yeah, thanks. Just shout out to everybody at Winstel for putting on a great race. I know it was struggles there the first half, but got it cleaned up towards the end. It was a lot of fun when we were racing good. And shout out to Christian, ran a great race, and good job to him for winning. Shout out to my left side tires because I didn't change them the whole race, so that was something I didn't plan on doing at the start. And shout out to you to ABN and everybody for putting on such a great broadcast.
A phenomenal offer for Jacob Potak, the defending Winstel Cup Series champion, second here at the Magic Mile. He'll try to use that reset to apply that momentum to Chicagoland in 2 weeks' time. Jacob, congratulations, and we'll see you again, hopefully, in even better spirits in Joliet.
Sounds good. Thanks.
That was Jacob Potak, your second place finisher here tonight. We will move on to the man of the hour, the former Winstel Cup Series champion, former Winstel 400 winner, and now a winner of the Magic Mile, Christian Budd. A phenomenal drive for the 17 car. Had off a little bit of pressure at the end, but I think job well done for the 17 camp at a very critical point of the season. Walk us through it.
Yeah, it's really great to win again. You know, I always say it, but you never know when your last win's going to come, and especially in a series like this, you just, you know, the competition this year is stepped up even more than the previous years, which is saying a lot, to be honest, because it was always difficult in the previous years too. So I didn't expect to win New Hampshire, really. It's always been kind of a really struggle track for me. Not something that just the flat tracks, usually I felt like I always burn my stuff off, or, you know, could be fast for a lap or two, and then other people just would always have a better handle on it. But Emily did a really good job with the setup this week, and it was really fun to drive. Thought the racing overall when we were green was really good. You know, our first little run there, I was really disappointed. I almost think sometimes like he should have taken the outside on that on the start of the race, because not leading a lap off the pole is always a really frustrating thing. But then we just got a bunch of yellows, you know, and it's just one of those races. I know it was a lot of frustration in the field and everything, but at the same time, I look at it too, and you had a person with a shifter mechanical issue. You had somebody with a internet mechanical issue causing some of it, and then sometimes you just get wrecks, you know. So I'm really happy that the field was able to put together that last long green flag run. Had a really fun battle with Colin and some of the other guys up there. I didn't realize I couldn't make it on fuel, or I probably wouldn't have been pushing them that hard. But hopefully, it was putting on a good show at least. So fun race at the end, and really happy to win.
You thought about obviously applying that pressure. I think had you not applied the pressure, they would have tried to save a little bit of fuel to make it to the end because it was marginal throughout most of that top 5 there. It is your first win of the season, but it's a critical win this time of the season here. Emily Howe, obviously finishing 43rd, did not finish this race at all. Dylan Roberts didn't have a great time, finished 11th in this race. Jose Solis Jr. had a very quiet race. He wasn't top 10 once in this race. Mauricio was the only one really close to you in like the prime chase contenders at the moment. Making the most of the points is a huge facet here, and we know that's going to be a huge talking point as we get on into the season, Chicagoland in 2 weeks' time. How do you capitalize on this momentum? Obviously, you talk about this track not being a track that you are pretty well excellent at. We go to a track that you have a lot better record at with Chicagoland coming up. Do you have the ability to sort of keep this going back and back? You talk about the field being so tough and difficult to race against. You're a former champion for a reason. You've got a race win for a reason. You're top 2 in the points now for a reason. Can we back this up when we head to Illinois in 2 weeks?
Well, I think that, I've been pretty competitive this year on the 1.5 miles. Ran really well at Texas, ran really well at Charlotte. So I think, there's definitely a shot there. Last year we went there with a car that drafted like it was at a super speedway, so I don't really know if that was a really fair assessment of what we're going to see there. Hopefully this year with the car having some more power, it'll be another fun race like we used to have. I always like Chicagoland. It's one of the slicker 1.5s we go to. So, I think I've got as good a shot as anybody, but, you got to beat the Colin Bowdens and the Colin Keisters and the Jake Fotaks and all these people, and you could pick another 10 or 20 of them out of the field that could win at any given week. So, it's really about having the right strategy and executing and putting down a good qualifying lap and doing all that stuff. So hopefully so. It's a long season still. I feel pretty good about the points and everything, but you also get bonus points for where you seed. So if I can be at the top of that when we go into the chase, that would be really awesome. And hopefully just try and win another race. I'd really like to keep winning. It's just nothing better than that.
Well, it's the Gen 4 Chicagoland coming up in 2 weeks' time. We're off next week for Mother's Day. The last time we used the old Gen 4 at Chicagoland, Christian Budd was victorious. That was 2024 when we saw him in victory lane in Joliet. Christian, before we let you go and let you obviously enjoy the race win and enjoy Mother's Day off next weekend, if there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Obviously, someone to keep an eye on is that Car 17 once again as you look to go and grab your second win in Illinois in 2 weeks.
Yeah, just first thanks to you for doing the broadcast. They've been stellar this year, really fun to watch. Hopefully everybody's been enjoying those, especially with the switch over to YouTube and everything here. It's been just really cool. The whole Winstel admin group, Brennan and Alex and Phil and Hayden and all them, just all the work that goes in behind the scenes to make these races as good as we can. Mom and Dad, wife and kids for supporting me and let me do this stuff, and also everybody who's been showing up. I always like to shout out all these people who've been trying to get into these races, and it's so hard to get in. I mean, every week they're coming in and they're grinding and they're trying to get a Q lap in and get into the race, and hats off to them, because eventually I think they're going to make it in the race, and hopefully they have a lot of fun when they do.
We're off for Mother's Day week. Next weekend, we'll see Christian Budd in the Winstel field again in 2 weeks' time at Chicagoland for another battle there in Illinois. Congratulations, Christian, on the race win, your first of the season. Here's to many more and a run towards the chase as we go through the month of May. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That was Christian Budd, your race winner here tonight. I had someone ask about a full points update. They are reviewing the race and the incidents, the 8 cautions that filled this race here this evening. So unfortunately, we are not going to have live points updated, unfortunately. When we are live again in 2 weeks' time at Chicagoland, we will have full points updated there for you. but unfortunately, that'll be in 2 weeks' time. We will also have stuff available on Patreon, the QR code on the bottom left of your screen, as well as in the description down below. We're doing a lot of updates of stuff. We'll be doing recaps. We'll be doing race articles. You might see the points updated there on Patreon in a article form this week. Start of the HTL seasons begins tomorrow and Tuesday with the HTL Shootout and the Prelude to the Dream. You're going to want to join us for both of those races as well. But a huge shout out to everyone here at Winstel for putting on a good race, especially the second half of the race. It was a tale of two halves. The second half was an all-out fight in typical Winstel fashion. Before we let you go, a huge shout out to our Patreon Premier Tier subs who have been so wonderful over the last couple months as we've embarked on this new journey. Trade Ups Logan, Dogman2935, Nick Sora, B-Dogs, Eli Sasick, Jason Scott, Alfred Denny, Weekend Hobby 22, Philip Snipes, Blue Jay, Tyler Head, and Colin McDonough. A huge shout out to each and every single one of you for being a huge supporter here of ABN. Thank you all so much as we kick off the best month for motorsports, the month of May. We'll be live again tomorrow night for the HTL Cup Shootout. No points on the line just yet. Just everyone shaking off the cobwebs. This upcoming Monday evening, tomorrow night. You're going to want to join us for that on Tuesday. Also on YouTube, it is the HTL Prelude to the Dream, a charity race at Eldora to get things really warmed up before the season begins later on this month. I'm Ben for everyone here for Winstel, all of its partners, and everyone here at ABN Studios. I'm Carmen Sienna. Thank you all so much for joining us. Stay safe and stay healthy. Until next time, we'll see you in the high banks of Daytona. So long, everybody.